advance due to some technical glitch that we have encountered just now. Thank you for your patience. Before starting today's talk, we have a few gentle reminders for everyone. To ensure the smooth running of our technical talk for the day, we hope that everyone can switch off your microphone and camera during the ongoing sessions. We will have Q&A session by the end of each presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to type it down in the chat box or use the raise hand feature. After the Q&A sessions, we'll have a short photo session. We would greatly appreciate if you could open your camera for that particular time. For the first timer, please join the teams with your registered email address in the registration form for the attendance purposes and for the e-certification circulation. That is all, and without further delay, we shall begin the event shortly. Thank you for your attention. Okay. Ready? Everything okay? Ready? Boleh. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good morning. Welcome everyone. My name is Norshida, members of the EAGE student chapter. On behalf of the student chapter, I welcome you to the 6th session of Technology Week 2022, organized by us in collaboration with the Master's Program of Petroleum Geoscience, University Malaya. A short introduction for the EAGE student chapter. It has been established since the end of February and is composed of UM's postgraduate and undergraduate students. We had our first talk for Technology Week in the end of March up until now, and we shall continue throughout May. Our first ever talk of the year 2022 has received participation not just from the students worldwide, but also some professionals in the oil and gas industry. This is our officially 3rd week. We just had our first talk this morning, and we shall continue with the second one on the day. Right now, together with us, physically in we have Mr. Tengku Muhammad Shazwan, who is an exploration geoscientist, to talk about introduction to sequence stratigraphy and basin analysis. A brief introduction about Mr. Tengku Shazwan. He has about 15 years of experience in the oil and gas industry and has conducted sequence stratigraphy studies in 32 major basins worldwide. He graduated with Bachelor in Geoscience from George Washington University, USA, and Masters in Petroleum Geoscience Geophysics major from Institut Francais du Pétrole, France. I hope I pronounced it correctly. To the speaker, Mr. Shazwan, it is a great pleasure to have you today with us, and we would like to thank you for spending your time with us. We wish all of participants will gain benefits, information, and fruitful session for the second talk. Without delaying any further, I would like to pass the floor to Mr. Shazwan to carry with the today's talk. I hope everyone can pay your attention and gain knowledge out of this talk. Mr. Shazwan, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Very good morning and Salam Ramadan to Muslims who perform the fasting. Yeah, so thank you very much. All right, so okay, so this is my first time. So after the MCO, so being in the lecture hall. So in this time, so last year, so we had a virtual session, yeah, in the Technology Week 2021, yeah. So this year I've been invited, so I feel honored So to the organizer that invited me again to share my experience and knowledge, that I gained in the last 15 years in the industry. So, so basically, I would like to share my a little bit of a background of myself. So thank you very much to Shida for introducing me. So basically, I've been working in the industry for 15 years. So I started with a well site and operation geologist. Yeah. So and then basically I transferred to the specialized group and prospect maturation, the venture group. For a few years. Then I went to the BHP Billiton Petroleum for the biostrat training. So and then I was transferred again to Atlantic Basins. Yeah. So this is where I started to learn a lot of the basins around the world. So especially around these basin, uh, Atlantic basins around here. So then and then I continued to be transferred to Africa basins, where I focus on around here. Then I continued my master's in the IFP school, Institut Français du Pétrole, so France. Yeah. So and in geophysics. So it was a new for me because I was my background when I was in a undergrad, I was a petrologist. Yeah. So and then I was transferred to do technical capability, so which is I gathered and basically plan the internal training for my company, and then now I'm a principal stratigraphy, so which is actually I handle all the stratigraphy project around the world that my company operates. Yeah, so that's why I have the opportunity to have the experience apply sequence stratigraphy around the world in 32 basins. Yeah, so this is the opportunity that I would like to share with you, all of you, what I have gained so far. Yeah, so to prepare you for the what they call a career in the future. Okay, so basically the objective of this talk actually to introduce to you the sequence stratigraphy concepts and applications in the basin. How we apply the sequence stratigraphy in the basin analysis. Yeah. So so basically this is updated. So yeah, so basically it's a little bit different. And then the rest, and then another one is basically to share the practical experience that I gained, as I mentioned to you. Yeah. Okay. So to all the master students. Yeah. Okay. So before that, so basically we're gonna cover a little bit of introductions and a little bit of basic concepts of sequence stratigraphy, and then how it has been applied. Yeah. Okay. Before this, I would just want to ask people in the room here, have you covered the sequence stratigraphy in your master's program?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. People online, you can raise your hands, virtual hands, sequence stratigraphy. Basin analysis, you can raise your hands if you do. Yeah? Anyone has covered? Okay, so it's okay. So basically, it's a pretty common, yeah, for you. So basically, this is the common concepts that was applied in the oil and gas industry. So sequence stratigraphy has been introduced by the Peter Vail, yeah, so 1970s. All right, so I just want to make a little bit of a disclaimer. All this presentation actually is a public domain, so you can go to the SEPM Strata. So all the figures that is available for you to use. Yeah, so this is very useful website actually for you to refer anything regarding the sequence stratigraphy, be it in carbonate, clastics, and also non-marine. Yeah. So So this is the thing that they try to identify. But you know that unconformities doesn't happen everywhere, right? It happens in some places, but at the same time, other parts of the area at the same time don't have any erosion. What do we call that? So we call correlative conformities, right? So it's the same age with the conformities that you have. So this is the sequence stratigraphy is all about. Why? And then we call that the unconformities plus correlative conformities actually is a sequence boundary. Yeah, so it's bounded by the age relations, same age, and also same genetically related rock. Yeah. So, and then basically, if you know it's bounded by two sequence boundary in between, you have a lot of sediment sequence. They call a para sequences. Yeah, in between. Para sequences in between, in which it being subdivided into initially they were into three system tracks. Yeah, I will explain you further on how actually this happened. So this is just introductions. Yeah. So then basically you start to have a low stand, transgressive system track, and also high stand. Yeah. So this is there are a few factors that controlling these sedimentary depositions. Yeah, I will let you know after this. It will come out. So let's go to a little bit of a history that I mentioned already, touched about. So where you have the sequence stratigraphy concept is not something new, right? So basically, have you learned about in your first physical geology course? Have you heard about the principle of horizontality? Have you heard about it? Yeah. So meaning that the sediments being deposited in horizontal manner. What else? So principle of uniformitarianisms, right? So and then you have and then what they call another principle you call Youngings to the top. Superpositions, right? So when you're talking about the Younging towards the top, that means you are dealing with a relative age of the rocks. You study of the rock because everything, every layer comes in sequence, in order. Sequence means order. So that's why you have, they call sequence stratigraphy. The stratigraphy comes in sequence. All right. So basically, it started with this sloss. Yeah, the sloss introduced it. There's all, and also the James Hartons in 1800s, I think, the father of geology. He introduced key. Present is the key to the past, right? Then basically by looking at whatever happened now, that means you can infer in the past. The sloths actually start to basically introduce in 1949 on the sequences. Then later we have a Galloway, Mitchum, Embry. So basically we have all these authors actually introduce genetic sequence, depositional sequence 1, and transgressive regressive sequence. Yeah. So basically these, if you know that the depositional sequence 1